The sky turned gray before the drums. The frost came first and found us dumb. We raised the wall before the word. The wind already knew what we had heard. A line of men where nothing stands. Hold the rim. The storm finds the line before the blade. We stand where the wind has no name. Stormrin finnur línu fyrir en egg. Hver stundum þar vindur á eigi nafn. The ground beneath is hard as bone. No fire tonight, no heat, no home. The shield is all that keeps the air from cutting through to what is bare. We lean into what we cannot see. Hold the rim. The storm finds the line before the blade. We stand where the wind has no name. Stormrin finnur línu fyrir en egg. Hver stundum þar vindur á eigi nafn.
The youngest one could not stop shaking. His shield rattled like a door in a storm. The man beside him pressed his shoulder close. Not a word, just weight, just warmth. And the boy went still, not because the cold had left, but because someone chose to stand that near, when standing cost everything.
The storm finds the line before the blade. We stand where the wind has no name. Stormrin finnur línu fyrir en egg. Hver stundum þar vindur á eigi nafn. The line before the blade. We stand where the wind has no name. Stormrin finnur línu fyrir en egg. Hver stundum þar vindur á eigi nafn.
Ice forms where the fingers grip, a thin white line along the lip. The shield grows heavy with the cold. The hand forgets what it was told, but the arm remembers how to hold. The cold takes what is soft. Ice forms on the rim, but the hand still grips. The cold takes the skin, but not the fist.
Ismindast á rönden höndin heldur.
Kuldi tekur húðin eigi nefar.
The wood beneath the iron cracks. The leather strap has frozen black. She feels the grain through numb dead skin, as if the shield is pressing in, as if it chose to hold her back.
The cold takes what is soft. Ice forms on the rim, but the hand still grips. The cold takes the skin, but not the fist.
Ismindast á rönden höndin heldur.
Kuldi tekur húðin eigi nefar.
She had wrapped her hands in linen strips, soaked in tallow from the last dead horse. By morning the cloth had frozen to the shield, and she could not tell where her hand ended and the iron began. She said nothing, because the ones who speak of pain are the ones who still have choice.
On the rim, but the hand still grips. The cold takes the skin, but not the fist.
Ismindast á rönden höndin heldur.
Kuldi tekur húðin eigi nefar. No gap between us to be shown. The wind looks for a crack to find. We leave no space, no thought behind. The wall is made of what we share. Close the gap. Shoulder to frozen shoulder we remain. The wall does not ask if we feel pain. Öxel við þrórna, öxel ver stöndum.
Veggr spyr eigi hvort hver finnum sár. The man beside me smells of smoke. His breath is wide, his voice is broke. But when he leans, I lean the same. We share the weight without a name. Two strangers in a single frame. Close the gap. Shoulder to frozen shoulder we remain. Hey! The wall does not ask if we feel pain. Hey! Öxel við frorna, öxel ver stöndum. Hey! Veggr spyr eigi hvort hver finnum sár. I do not know his name. I know his shoulder width. I know which way he breathes. I know his shield tilts left when tired. And I have been correcting it for hours. Without him asking. Without me deciding. The wall does that to men. It makes them one machine that bleeds from different wounds. Shoulder to frozen shoulder we remain. Hey! The wall does not ask if we feel pain. Hey! Öxel við frorna, öxel ver stöndum. Hey! Veggr spyr eigi hvort hver finnum sár. Light when morning came. By noon it wore a different name. The ice has doubled what it weighs. The arm burns through the frozen haze. But lowering it means the end of days. Heavier now. The weight of the shield grows with every breath. But the arm does not lower until death.
Þungiskjaldar vex með hverju andardrætti.
En armurinn lækkar eigi fyrr en dauði. My fingers stopped an hour past. The wrist is locked, the knuckles cast in ice that holds them to the wood. I could not drop it if I would. The cold has made the choice for good. Heavier now. The weight of the shield grows with every breath. But the arm does not lower until death.
Þungiskjaldar vex með hverju andardrætti.
En armurinn lækkar eigi fyrr en dauði.
His wife had carved a mark inside the shield. A small thing, just a line, a scratch. She said it was a door. So when the weight became too much, he could press his thumb against the groove and walk through it in his mind. He found the mark 3 hours in, and he did not leave. But his thumb never moved again.
The weight of the shield grows with every breath, but the arm does not lower until death.
Þungi skaldar vex með hverju andardrætti.
En armurinn lækkar eigi fyrr en dauði.
Have not been hands since dawn. The feeling left the fingers drawn into a shape they cannot leave. A fist around what they believe is all that stands between us and the grave. The fist remembers. Hands that cannot open still hold the line. Frozen fingers keep the oath through time. Endir eigi opnast, halda en línu.
Frosnar fingur geyma, erum aldir. I used to braid my daughter's hair with fingers quick and light as air. Now they are stone, now they are iron. Now they grip what needs no siren. Just the rim and the will not to fall from there.
The fist remembers. Hands that cannot open still hold the line. Frozen fingers keep the oath through time. Endir eigi opnast, halda en línu.
Frosnar fingur geyma, erum aldir. After the first battle, she uncurled her hand and found the shape of the shield rim pressed into her palm like a scar. She showed no one, but at night she held her daughter's face, and the girl said, "Mother, your hands are different." And she said, "Yes, they hold harder now." The girl did not ask what they held.
Still hold the line. Frozen fingers ekki ógnast, halda en línu.
Frosnar fingur geima
Erum odin.
Behind me fell without a sound. No cry, no gasp, just weight upon the ground. His shield slid left the way it always leaned. I caught it with my hip before they screamed. The gap he left behind. The man behind me fell without a sound. I closed the gap before he hit the ground. Maðurinn á bak mér féll án hljóðs. Ég klauk gatinn áður, hann rann á jörð. I do not know if frost or blade had done the work. The silence made his eyes were open, looking up, as if the sky were not enough to hold what he had tried to say. Hold the rim. The man behind me fell without a sound. I closed the gap before he hit the ground. Maðurinn á bak mér féll án hljóðs. Ég klauk gatinn áður, hann rann á jörð.
He was the one whose shield tilted left, the one who breathed in threes, the one whose shoulder width I knew better than my brother's face.
I never spoke his name, I never learned it, but when he fell I felt the wall lose something it could not replace. Not a man, an angle, a degree of lean that kept the whole line true. The man behind me fell without a sound. I closed the gap before he hit the ground. Maðurinn á bak mér féll án hljóðs. Ég klauk gatinn áður, hann rann á jörð. has swallowed every shape. No face, no form, no clean escape. We swing at shadows in the storm, at sounds that take a human form. The blade finds bone without the eye.
Strike where you hear breathing.
Iron meets iron in the blind white storm.
We fight by sound where sight is torn.
Jarmur til jarni blindri, hvítri bil.
Við berjumst við hljóð, þar sjónir rif.
I hear a grunt 3 steps ahead. I do not know if friend or dead. The rim I hold meets something hard. Another shield, another guard. We push together in the dark.
Strike where you hear breathing.
Iron meets iron in the blind white storm.
We fight by sound where sight is torn.
Jarmur til jarni blindri, hvítri bil.
Við berjumst við hljóð, þar sjónir rif.
In the blind I struck a man and heard him fall, and could not tell if it was theirs or ours. I stood still for 1 breath, listening for the way he breathed. Because our men breathe in 3s, and theirs breathe desperate and fast. He breathed twice and stopped. I will never know whose line grew shorter in that white. Meets iron in the blind white storm.
We fight by sound where sight is torn.
Jarmur til jarni blindri, hvítri bil.
Við berjumst við hljóð, þar sjónir rif.
Like wolves of snow, their shapes appear and then they go. We see them only at the edge, a blade, a shoulder, then a ledge of bodies forming in the storm. They are close. They come through the white like wolves of the snow.
We see only shapes, but we do not go.
Þeir koma í gegnum hvítt sem úlfar snjóar.
Við sjáum aðeins form en víkjum eigi.
They hit the wall and fall away like waves on rock. They break and stay. The ones who reach the rim go still. We do not chase, we do not kill. Beyond the line we hold our place.
them reached the wall and pressed his hand flat on a shield. Not to push, but to feel, as if he had forgotten what was solid. His fingers spread across the iron, like a man touching a door he cannot enter. He looked through the gap, and for one breath his eyes met mine. Then someone pulled him back into the white, and I will never know if he was trying to break through or asking to be let in.
We see only shapes, but we do not go. Þeir koma í gegnum hríð sem úlfar snjóar. Við sjáum aðeins form
en víkjum eigi.
Across the arm, but nothing bled the frosted harm. Before the wound could find its voice, the cold had sealed it without choice, red turning white upon the skin. Even the blood obeys the cold. Blood freezes before it falls to ground. The wound speaks louder than any sound. Blóð frýs áður en á jörð rennur. Sárið mælir hærra en hvert ljóð. I watched a man take iron through the side. He pressed his shield and did not cry. The frost had frozen shut the pain. He fought 3 more, then fell like rain that turns to ice before it lands. Even the blood obeys the cold. Blood freezes before it falls to ground. The wound speaks louder than any sound. Blóð frýs áður en á jörð rennur. Sárið mælir hærra en hvert ljóð.
The healer came when the fighting paused. She pressed her hand against the wound, and the blood beneath had frozen in the shape of the blade that made it a perfect mold, a frozen tooth. She pulled her hand away, and on her palm was the pattern of a sword, pressed in red ice.
She kept it for a moment.
Then the warmth of her hand melted what the cold had saved,
And the man began to bleed again.
and that is when he died.
Not from the wound, but from the thaw. Blood freezes before it falls to ground. The wound speaks louder than any sound. Blóð frýs áður en á jörð rennur. Sárið mælir hærra en hvert ljóð.
His grip was locked, the cold had won. We pried the shield when he was done. The fingers broke like winter wood, splintering where the iron stood. We did not flinch, we understood. The shield outlives the hand. Pass the shield to the living hand. The dead still serve where the living stand.
Rettskjöldin til lifandi handar.
Dauðir þjóna en þar life endir standa.
First hour was next.
His shield still bore the older text
of someone else's name and mark. We took it when his hands went dark and gave it to the one still warm.
The shield outlives the hand. Pass the shield to the living hand.
The dead still serve where the living stand.
Rettskjöldin til lifandi handar.
Dauðir þjóna en þar life endur standa. The boy, the one who shook in the first hour, whose shield rattled like a door in storm. He held longer than the men who laughed at him. He held until his knees locked shut. And when he fell forward into the wall, as if even in death, he was trying to close the gap. We pulled his shield free, and the man who took it whispered something, no one heard what, but his lips moved in the shape of a name that was not his own.
the shield to the living hand.
The dead still serve where the living stand.
Rättsskjöldin till lifandi handar.
Dauðir þjóna en þar life standa.
The living hand. The dead still serve where the living stand.
Rättsskjöldin till lifandi handar.
Dauðir þjóna en þar life standa. Does not exist upon this ridge. No tongue can form it through the frozen bridge of lips that cracked and bled and sealed again. We lost the language of surrender when the first man fell and no one turned to look. There is no word for back. No one calls retreat in the frozen line. The word does not exist in the ice and brine. Enginn kallar hörfun í frostulínunni. Orðið eigi til ís og salti. Behind us there is nothing left to save. The village burned, the bridges in the wave. The only ground we own is where we press our frozen boots into this wilderness of ice and iron. And what the wind allows, there is no word for back. No one calls retreat in the frozen line. The word does not exist in the ice and brine. Enginn kallar hörfun í frostnu línunni. Orðið eigi til ís og salti. His voice by midday. Frost had sealed his throat. He tried to give the order once, his mouth open, but only vapor came. The men beside him did not need the sound. They had already decided. Not together, not with words. Each one separately in silence had killed the idea of leaving. The way you kill a fire, by removing what it feeds on. They did not choose to stay. They forgot that going was a thing.
Retreat in the frozen line. The word does not exist in the ice and brine. Engin kallar hörfun í frosnu línunni. Orðið eigi til ís og salti. The blizzard threw its weight behind their charge. The sky collapsed, the wind became a barge that carried death across the frozen ground. Hold the rim! Hold the rim! Hold the rim! The wall does not break, the wall does not bend. We are the frost, we are the end.
Veggr, brotnar, eigi, Veggr, beygist, eigi.
Erum hríðin, erum endir. The shields cracked down the middle, frozen held. The arms behind them shook, but never knelt. Each gap was filled before the air rushed through. Each fallen shield was lifted by the new. The wall repaired itself like winter ice.
Hold the rim, hold the rim.
Hold the rim! The wall does not break, the wall does not bend. We are the frost, we are the end.
Veggr, brotnar, eigi, Veggr, beygist, eigi.
Erum hríðin, erum endir. the wall from outside once. I was thrown clear by the force, and for one breath I saw it from the enemy's eyes. A line of ice and iron and teeth that did not move, that did not flinch, that had no face. Only rims, only edges, only the sound of breathing in threes. And I understood why they kept coming. Not because they thought they could break it, but because they could not believe that men could become a thing that does not break. The wall does not break, the wall does not bend. We are the frost, we are the end.
Veggr, brotnar, eigi, Veggr, beygist, eigi.
Erum hríðin, erum endir. The charge has stopped, the wind has pulled away. The snow falls soft now, almost light as gray. I stand in his position by the rim. The ice beneath my boots still holds his print. I fill the space, but not the shape of him.
He is still here,
standing where he stood, until the ice takes hold.
his ghost beside me.
Neither warm nor cold.
Stendandi þar,
Han stóðum sístekur.
draugur hans hjá mér.
Hvorki heitrun kaldrur. His shield still smells of tallow and of smoke. The groove inside that someone's finger spoke still fits my thumb, as if it knew my hand, as if the dead had left a place to stand for anyone who needed something real.
He is still here,
standing where he stood, until the ice takes hold.
his ghost beside me.
Neither warm nor cold.
Stendandi þar,
Han stóðum sístekur.
draugur hans hjá mér.
Hvorki heitrun
Kaldrur,
I pressed my thumb into the groove. The small door carved by someone's wife.
For a moment I was somewhere else, a room with fire, a child asleep. The smell of bread, not iron. I do not know whose memory it was, his or mine or the shield's. But when I came back to the line, my hand was steady, and the cold meant nothing, as if the dead man's door had let me rest for just one breath.
Before the frost returned,
standing where he stood, until the ice
takes hold, his ghost beside me,
neither warm nor cold.
Stand undithar,
Eran stóðan sístekur,
draugur hans hjá mér, hvorki heitur né kaldrir. The wind has stopped, but no one speaks. The sky is cleared for 7 weeks. It seems the frost was all there was. The storm has left without applause, and we remain like frozen trees. Do not move. The storm passes, but we do not move. Frozen in formation, nothing left to prove. Stormen líður, en við hríðin eigi. Frozen í fylkingu, ekkert eftir að sanna.
Who try to drop their shields find arms that will not bend to yield. The cold has set the bone in place, a statue garden of the chase, where every face looks straight ahead.
Do not move. The storm passes, but we do not move. Frozen in formation, nothing left to prove. Stormen líður, en við hríðin eigi. Frozen í fylkingu, ekkert eftir að sanna.
Someone tried to lower his shield, and the ice cracked along his forearm, like the sound of a branch in winter. He screamed, not from pain, but from the sound.
Because it was the first human sound.
In ours, and it did not belong.
In the silence the storm had left behind,
The others looked at him,
not with judgment,
but with recognition.
they too had tried
In their minds,
to put the shield down,
and found that the body,
had made a promise
the mind,
did not remember making. The storm passes, but we do not move. Frozen in formation, nothing left to prove. Stormen líður en við erum frozen í fylkingu, ekkert eftir að sanna. We do not move, frozen in formation, nothing left to prove. Stormen líður en við frozen í fylkingu, ekkert eftir að sanna.
When morning came, we counted heads. By touching shoulders, seeing threads of vapor rising from the mouths that still drew air from frozen droughts. And some stood still with open eyes. Hold the rim. Some of us died standing, shield still raised. The frost took the men, but the wall remains.
Sumir okkar dó standandi, skjöldum minna lofti.
Hríðin tók mennina, en veggrinn stendur. The boy was standing at his post, his shield still forward like a ghost. The woman with the tallow hand still gripped the rim on frozen lands. The man whose door I never closed. Hold the rim.
Some of us died standing, shield still raised.
The frost took the men,
but the wall remains.
dó stendandi skjöldum menn á lofti. Hríðin tók mennina en veggrinn stendur.
We could not tell the living from the dead until we tried to move them. The living stumbled. The dead stayed perfect, still holding, still facing, still pressed, shoulder to frozen shoulder, as if death had looked at them and seen they were already doing what the dead do best.
Standing in one place,
Without complaint,
without complaint,
without need,
without end.
and death had said,
You are already mine.
but I will let you